welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today we are here with part 3, the final part of my new protein series. So in this video I'm going to be sharing with you 10 different protein recipes that you can use if you don't want to have just plain protein with water. So obviously the kind of standard way that most people have protein powder is just in a shaker bottle with some water or some plant milk like almond milk or soy milk. A lot of people just have that in a protein shaker and they shake it up and they drink it. However, there are some different ways you can use protein powder that taste so good. And you know, having it plain in a protein shaker is good as well. Like if you have a good tasting protein powder, like the ones I mentioned in my previous video, click here if you want to check that out. You know, it does taste fine just with water. However, you know, if you want to spice it up, if you want to have something more fun and make a meal out of it or make a snack out of it, here are some great protein powder recipes for you. So number 1 is a classic, which is a protein smoothie. So you can basically put protein powder into whatever smoothie you like. You could have a chocolate smoothie, you could have a salted caramel smoothie, you could have a berry smoothie. Basically any smoothie you already make, you can just add a scoop of protein powder into that, and then you have a more filling smoothie that has lots of protein in it. So that's the first one. Number 2 is a smoothie bowl. So much like a smoothie, you can just make your bowl a bit thicker by adding in some extra frozen banana, and then you have a delicious smoothie bowl, and you can add toppings like granola and fresh fruit, and it's so yummy and it's a great meal for breakfast or lunch or really any time of the day. It's super satisfying and so tasty, especially in those summer months. So definitely try that out if you haven't already. Adding protein powder into your smoothie bowl is a delicious addition and super easy and simple. So number 3 is a protein coffee. So you might not have done this before. You can do this either hot or cold. Personally, I prefer it cold because I just think it tastes more delicious and it's kind of like a frappe. So you just add ice into your blender with some water and some coffee. You can use either like an espresso or just instant coffee with some hot water, and you just put a scoop of protein powder, blend that all up, and then you have a delicious protein coffee. It's also really good if you just want to have a light version of a protein shake. So if you don't really want to add things like, you know, banana and dates and other stuff like that, and you just kind of want that hit of protein, it's a really good way to have it because it tastes really good, and it's just a bit more interesting than having it with plain water. And yeah, it's quite low calories, so if you are going to be eating a meal on top of that, it is a great way to still get your protein in. So number 3 is protein cookies. I actually have a full recipe video on protein cookies, which I'll link up here, and I have a blog post as well on a new one, and I also have a Instagram reel of a protein jam drop cookie recipe, which is so good. Oh, they're just so yummy. I actually used this protein powder in the jam drop recipe and it worked really well, but I've used macro Mike and I've used Tropeaka as well in those protein cookie recipes, so really any protein powder should work pretty well. It is so yummy and it's just such a great snack to have. I've literally had 2 of them today already. So good. It's so convenient because you can just keep it in an airtight container for like a week and you just have protein cookies, but in my household they literally get eaten within 1 day because they're that good. Anyway, on to the next recipe. So you can make protein balls or protein bars. I personally prefer bars because I feel more satisfied after a bar, and often the amount of calories and protein that's in a bar is the same as in a ball. And personally, yeah, I just feel like it's way more satisfying to eat a bar because you have it in a few bites, whereas a ball, you could like fit the whole thing in your mouth and just have it all in one bite and then it's gone. So that's why I prefer bars personally, and I have a great recipe for protein bars. I'll link it again up here. It was in my Tropeaka review video. Oh, so good. I actually have them in the freezer right now. So I love them because they're just so convenient. You can store them in the freezer for up to a couple of months, so it's just so handy to just grab one when you need it, and it's way better than buying store-bought protein bars because you know exactly what's in them and there's no packaging, no wrapping, so would recommend protein bars or balls if you prefer balls. So recipe number 6 is protein oats. I've actually only recently gotten into this trend. I had tried it once in the past with a different protein powder, not the ones I recommended, and it just didn't taste that great, but I tried it with my new vanilla IMC protein and it tasted so good. It's so easy to make and so delicious, so I highly recommend giving protein oats a go. It's a great way to add in a bit of extra protein to your breakfast. Personally, I am used to not having much protein at all for breakfast, so it's really good for me to be able to get in that extra hit of nutrition in the morning. Number 7, and one of my all-time favorites, is protein pancakes. I absolutely love protein pancakes, and I actually just recently created this new protein pancake recipe, which is super fluffy and delicious. So I will let you know the recipe for that. It's honestly so good. So I highly recommend trying protein pancakes. I do also have an older video on it, which I will link up here, where I made chocolate protein pancakes. But more recently, I've been getting into chocolate chip pancakes, which is just so yummy. It makes me feel like I'm in an American movie, because I swear they always have chocolate chip pancakes in American movies. Anyway, on to number 8, protein granola. So this is another breakfast style recipe, but you can also eat it as a snack. I shared the recipe in one of my last videos, which I'll link up here. It is so yum. In that recipe, I made a chocolate protein granola, but you can make any type of flavor you want. It's so simple. It's a great way to get a bit of extra protein powder in, and it tastes absolutely delicious. So I would definitely recommend that one. So on to number 9, protein brownies or muffins. So you can basically add protein powder into most baking recipes, but you don't want to add too much, because sometimes if you add too much protein powder, the recipe doesn't really rise as well, because it's different to flour, and that's why I personally prefer to use protein powder in cookies, because obviously cookies don't really need to rise, so it works really well as a substitute for flour. If you are using it in brownies or in cakes or in muffins, you will still need to use flour, and you'll just have to substitute a small amount of it as the protein powder. So I like to do it with brownies especially. My sweet potato brownie recipe works really well with a couple of tablespoons of protein put in there. I will leave the link to that up here. Again, I think in that one I used a hemp protein powder, but basically any protein powder would work in that, so highly recommend doing that if you're keen for some delicious brownies. Alright, so on to number 10, and the final protein recipe for today. I have protein ice cream. So one of my favorite snacks to make in summer is protein nice cream, which is when you just blend up frozen bananas and it makes this beautiful ice cream. But what you can do if you want to add a bit more protein into that is just add in a scoop of protein, and it blends up so well and it's so tasty, and it's just amazing. So definitely try that one out if you are a lover of ice cream, and if you want a healthy ice cream alternative. It is super yummy and so easy to make as well. You just need a food processor, some frozen bananas, and protein powder. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have taken some inspiration from these 10 different protein powder recipes. They're honestly so good, and it's such a great way to get the protein powder into your diet if you're not a big fan of just having it straight. Personally, I do a bit of both. I think what I have the most is probably the protein smoothie, as well as the protein bars and the protein cookies. They're probably my 3 go-tos in terms of protein recipes. Oh, also protein pancakes, but I think I have them like once a fortnight, not like every week. Whereas I've been almost having like protein bars and cookies and shakes every week because they're just so good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are all safe and well. If you did enjoy this video, it would mean the world to me if you could hit the like button and also subscribe if you haven't already. And you can also click that bell notification button if you want to be notified every time I post a new video, which is every Wednesday and Sunday. And with all that said, I hope you are well and safe and happy and healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!